market has been definitely bullish for Bitcoin, but very slow for altcoins. However, there's a couple of sectors of altcoins that have really been performing well, and I think some of them are still very undervalued and honestly underappreciated and not getting enough love on YouTube and crypto Twitter. So in this video, I'm going to go over some opportunities in the market right now to make money, not only using these protocols, but I just think that some of these tokens are still undervalued based on where we are in the market, as well with all the Bitcoin adoption that's coming through the door. I do think that we're gearing up for a really fun crypto summer as well as rest of 2025. So I'm going to go over my bull thesis as well as the tokens that I am looking at. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And first and foremost, be sure to drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content here on In the Game. We have you covered from crypto gaming, AI, meme coins, at this point, 𝗵𝗄𝗽, RWA, and more. And of course, check out our sponsors down below in the description. We have some amazing sponsors from 𝗲𝗘𝗏 as well as Everreach Labs and our premier exchange partner, 𝗶𝗏𝘆. If you're not already trading with 𝗶𝗏𝘆, I don't know what you're doing at this point. They have no KYC, tons of trading pairs. Of course, you can use this anywhere on the globe. I'm in the US and I can deposit, withdraw, and not have to KYC on this exchange. So check out 𝗶𝗏𝘆 in the description down below. And also, about a week from today, we will be public with our crypto trading on Nexus, which obviously 𝗶𝗏𝘆 is centralized, and we have Nexus, which is decentralized perps trading. You can see here you can trade Bitcoin as well as tons of other pairs here on our platform. But the cool thing is you can jump over to the 𝗕𝗏𝗙 tab and you can trade indices, Forex, stocks such as Nvidia and Google, all utilizing crypto. And if you see on the right side here, up to 100x leverage. So it's a very unique opportunity in the market. So this will be going live next week to the public. Check out Nexus down below and be ready for that update. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. We are in a cycle right now that obviously is not really participating / performing like past cycles, to be honest. A lot of times altcoins just move up with Bitcoin regardless, but then when dominance tapers off a little bit, we start to see altcoins just absolutely rip. Well, in this market, if we just go to the top here on Nexus, you can see 63.8% Bitcoin dominance. And the dominance levels have just been either stable or rising throughout this cycle. So we are in a time period for me that I am terming the Bitcoin arms race. Like people and institutions and governments are trying to stockpile as much as possible before there is actually like an inevitable supply shock, because all these companies and institutions and governments, they just want to hold Bitcoin long term. So to me, this has been participating a little different than past cycles, but I think there will be a time when altcoins become very bullish. Obviously, Bitcoin is by far the main character, and even more so than in past cycles. Like obviously Bitcoin's always been the market leader, but right now Bitcoin is the priority and altcoins are definitely second fiddle. We see the BlackRock spot ETF has become the fastest ever to break 70 billion. It was 5x faster than the old record held by gold, which was 1,691 days, which is absolutely insane to achieve this in 341 days. So this is legitimately digital gold. So first and foremost, make sure you have an action plan to keep accumulating Bitcoin, because I don't think you can get enough over this course of this cycle. And also, look, I just think the next 6 months are going to be very fun. Right now, there are some protocols we're about to dive into that you can still be making crazy money in the altcoin and the trenches, really, not the meme coin trenches, but using these platforms. I think the next 6 months will be some of the most fun and euphoric times that we have felt in crypto. Look, and it's June 9th and the market's still pretty bullish, which is surprising. For the most part, during summer months, Bitcoin and crypto in general is not bullish because, as they say, traders leave, they go to the Hamptons, whatever the case is, they leave their desk, volume is down. But now that we have institutions and all these big players participating, volume is definitely not down. And when we look at altcoins, there are some select few altcoins doing very well here. We see Seedify here up 16%, a couple of others. I want to highlight one big winner here in the Avalanche ecosystem, which is the Arena token. Arena has been absolutely pumping. Over the weekly time period is up 200%, sitting at $236 million market cap. I'm going to go over later in this video why this is happening. But as you can see, for the most part, most altcoins really aren't even moving that much. But if you dive into certain ecosystems, you can be printing money in this market very easily just by some understanding as well as having a strategy. So let's go ahead and dive into a few of these sectors where people are making a lot of cash even with an uncertain altcoin market. First and foremost, and yes, this is going to be the least lucrative, okay? Unless you have a lot of capital, this one will be the lowest end as far as ROI goes. But that is gaming. And right now, Onchain Heroes is leading the charge. It's kind of like an on-chain Ponzi game. You send your players out to a dungeon for raids, and they come back with hero tokens. You can either choose to level up your hero and earn more hero, or you can obviously cash it out. Over literally the first 24 hours, there was over 11.5 million heroes spent, 29,000 weapons sacrificed, 15 legendaries remixed, and 2 mythics forged. And this game now has been live for about a week as far as this season 2, and people are printing in this game, but you have to have a little more liquidity. But honestly, everyone is printing in this because of Abstract. Abstract is probably the best opportunity as far as airdrop farming with low liquidity. You can jump in, play these games, earn a few thousand XP every single week without even really using a ton of liquidity, and also without having to, take big risks. A lot of stuff in the Abstract ecosystem is just simply fun to use. And as you acquire that XP, I think you will be working your way towards one of the bigger airdrops of the cycle, which is Abstract. Number 2, we have FIFA Rivals coming on June 12th. This is an officially licensed FIFA game by the same people who are doing the Pudgy Penguins game, that did Play Blancos, that also did NFL Rivals. They've done over $650 million in in-game revenue, and you can pre-register on iOS and Android today. So if you go to the link here, you can jump in, and I will definitely be playing this whenever this comes out. I'm really excited to check it out, and especially how the in-game economy works. And if you know anything about NFL Rivals, you don't even really feel like you're using crypto, but it is completely built on blockchain, which is very bullish. And then a couple of upcoming opportunities. We have SPY Inc. This is kind of like On-Chain Heroes or Hedge Empires on Sophon, but it is completely on-chain, and this is on Base. And Base really hasn't had a game come through the door that is a big hit as far as on-chain metrics, right? We're talking about degen, Ponzi's type of games. And when you come in here, you create your agency, mint your spies with Ink, recon, defense, sabotage, and infiltrate is the gameplay loop. You earn the Ink token, you craft schematics, and you upgrade your spies. I'm really excited about this one. And as you can see, a lot of people are in the comments like, I think that this sounds pretty cool. And as Easy replied to one of our tweets this last week about this game, he says that he thinks this reminds him of Cop Game on Solana, which did have a pretty good run. I think a couple years ago was when that was. And then some people are making money in the 𝗘𝗫𝗄𝗏 ecosystem. Now, this game is not even full out yet, but a lot of people are enjoying this. We have Inhuman saying that most features are not available yet, but this is a sleeping giant and is one of the top 5 Web3 games I've played. I've seen people making $50 to $100 a day in this game who are grinding. So there's a lot of opportunities in gaming, but this is going to be a lot more time intensive. And as far as stuff like On-Chain Heroes, liquidity intensive. You're going to need to be able to have a little bit of cash to get into these games and be able to really run up the numbers on the ROI. But really, the biggest opportunity in the market continues to be Virtual's protocol. And honestly, it's pretty impressive over the course of the last month. If we just look at Virtuals, I know it's like it's like even on the months, -2%, but it did have a big run here up to this $2 level. I actually think demand's going to be pretty solid on virtuals, and virtuals is going to be still one of those tokens that I think is worth accumulating in this market. And why is that? Well, first of all, the AI agent, Genesis launches, they have kind of cooled off a little bit. But as of this morning, I think the big catalyst to continue this run of people making so much money in this ecosystem is this latest tweet here. Super excited to team up with the Nethermind crew to launch Iris, which is going to be 50% go straight to the Ethereum community, 0 tokens for the team, built as a pure public good, true to the spirit of decentralization. You're going to pledge points, as always on virtuals, on Base, and then your tokens will be received on Ethereum. And literally Ethereum themselves, the @Ethereum Twitter comes through. Ethereum is for AI. I think this could end up being the biggest AI launch on virtuals. Now, this marks 2 things. This could either continue the trend of virtuals dominance, or this could mark a local top. So I think it really depends on where this lands. But for the most part, I would just be trying to get my hands into this launch. It's going to be over allocated, but you can still pledge your points and pledge virtual tokens and get a piece of this. And if this launches at $80-100 million market cap because Ethereum is officially backing it, then you should be able to at least make a little bit of money there on this project, despite it being so over allocated. As of recording, this goes live 1 day and 16 hours from now. So roughly about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this goes live on Wednesday morning. That would be June 11th. So I'm absolutely looking to get involved in this. It is going to be over allocated, but this is one to watch for virtuals. So I think virtuals demand over the next 2 days, because of this, people are going to want to pledge the max amount. So they're going to be buying virtuals. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pump heading into Wednesday. I think get involved with this launch and see where it goes. If it is underwhelming, I would say maybe the virtuals run is coming to a little bit of an end. But if this thing over exceeds expectation, it could really ignite liquidity and more attention into this ecosystem, especially from Ethereum maxis. Obviously, this is built on Base chain, so a lot of people from Ethereum really aren't even diving into this. But to me, this is the biggest opportunity in the market right now, and it has been for the last few weeks. We've talked about this, and anyone who's gotten involved with this, for the most part, just pledging into some of these launches that get near allocation, they have been doing very, very well. So I do think that over the next 2 days, as mentioned, I think virtuals could see a little bit of an uptrend, buy pressure heading into the Iris launch on Wednesday morning. And then on top of that, I would not be surprised to see this be one of the biggest launches on virtuals so far. And I'll give my opinion afterwards if I think the run continues or if that is kind of like a local top with how high it launches. So we'll talk about that whenever it happens. And then the third most lucrative opportunity in the market right now, a lot of people are printing, and it's maybe my least favorite of all of these. Obviously, I'm big into crypto gaming. I think there's going to be a big run eventually. We're seeing quality filtered out. We're seeing really bad projects leave the space. We're seeing quality rise to the top, which I love. And then AI, right? I mean, with me, I love virtuals. I love 𝗬𝗨. So those are 2 altcoins I'm continuing to accumulate, and I think long-term are going to perform very well. So long as AI is hot, which it's not going to slow down. We see Apple's new software release. They're pushing AI to the forefront. So that to me just screams AI will continue to be the biggest utility niche in this market by far. So I'm accumulating top AI coins hand over fist. My favorites, as mentioned, when we go down to the AI sector. And I think that's a good segue. If there's one sector of coins I'm accumulating right now, it's AI. And really, because of that Apple software update, I think they're going to continue to just see more and more stuff similar to that, where AI is being pushed to the forefront of Apple's technology. It's being pushed to the forefront of Microsoft's technology, Google's technology, and that trend isn't going to stop. So to me, it's 𝗬𝗨 and render as far as high level. AI agent play is virtual. I love neural AI, node AI as well, which is GPU. I think desync's a great play, and I think the top individual AI agent to be accumulating right now is Limbo, around that $3 million market cap. And the last niche that people are making a ton of money on, but one token here that I think still has a ton of upside left if this model does work, and that is Seedify. So we're seeing 𝗵𝗵𝗫/SocialFi really dominate. We saw stuff like 𝗘𝗫𝗄 do well. Cookie token's been doing well. We saw 𝗠𝗨𝗫𝗀, which I thought was really annoying, but regardless, it's maybe my least favorite niche of all of these. But you can yap on the timeline and get to the top of the Seedify ultimate, leaderboard, or you can accumulate and get these guaranteed allocations. They're doing 100K fair launches fully unlocked. I think these could really print for those who get access to this. So the Seedify launchpad model has really changed, and it's more of a leaderboard system based on how much you stake and also your social engagement. So you can join on Seedify. But for me, I think this adds a lot of value to Seedify, especially if some of these tokens actually do very well on launch. Let's find the Seedify token here, sitting at an $82 million fully diluted market cap. It is up 16% on the daily, but I do think this does trend up towards that $1 mark plus, and especially if some of these launches start printing like we've seen with virtuals. So they're kind of running their own virtuals playbook, but more of a traditional launchpad style, starting at 100K market caps. You could see how lucrative that could be. If you get in at 100K market cap, it goes to $1 million. That's literally a 10x just by getting to $1 million market cap. So I do think the Seedify new system, the Seedify Ultimate, could be a massive opportunity for gains and could be that beta play. Everything in the market has beta plays, right? You see stuff like 𝗘𝗫𝗄, and then there was Cookie. You see stuff come through the door that is just the main play and then a little bit of a off-brand play. Now, this is not off-brand. Seedify has honestly been around longer than what Virtuals has, but at the same time, it's a similar recipe. And if the outcome is similar, right, if the food tastes good on what's coming out of Seedify, I think this could be a great beta play to what Virtuals has been doing for the past couple of months. And of course, a lot of people are printing on stuff like the Arena, which is SocialFi. It is Avalanche season. Like, a lot of coins coming out of the Arena launcher are just absolutely crushing, and you can get free tokens if you just stake your Arena tokens. So Arena has been doing very well on the charts, as I showed earlier in the show. Let's just go look at the Arena token, up 182% on the weekly. So not something I'd necessarily be buying, but if you participate in the Arena app, you might even have some tokens sitting there you can go stake for free. And if you earn AVAX on here or deposit AVAX, you can just turn it into Arena and stake, and you can potentially get free meme coins, free tokens from these different projects that launch. And it's literally as simple as that. You don't even have to really dive into the trenches, but if you follow the right people, it's all dedicated to AVAX. You're not really going to find content on here that is, kind of varying off from that, from AVAX. So to me, you can follow the right people, find the right coins, not have to be glued to the screen 24/7. It's also on mobile, and also just stake up some Arena, and you just get free airdrops by being an Arena champion. So this has been a very, very lucrative opportunity in the market so far, and one that I actually really like that is free to join. It's literally like $1 to join so far, and their pre-sale goes live tomorrow. This is Aura, or aka Shards. So what this is, instead of using SocialFi, which I kind of, like I said, I kind of hate, like 𝗘𝗫𝗄, it just incentivizes people to tweet as much as possible, and a lot of it's just garbage, not really a lot of substance to it, just trying to farm the algorithm, and then they get rewarded by projects. Whereas this, you get rewarded by your on-chain history. So there's a lot of personalities out there that might not be degenning on chain, but if you connect your wallet and mint your archetype, you could get stuff like the degen or the Battle Master, which means you're an on-chain gamer. And they did raise $2 million from Animoca, YGG, Kyber Ventures, and they have the CEO of YGG, who Gabby, if you know, and also Hassan from Coinbase are on the cap table here. So very strong. And I have talked to this team, so I think that they have the recipe to kind of change. You're going to be rewarded actually based on your on-chain history and be able to earn from that. And the pre-sale goes live tomorrow on this token. You can get guaranteed access if you just go to the Shards official Twitter, go in, link your wallet to the platform. It'll do a quick analysis, all AI based on your on-chain history. It'll determine if you're a DeFi or a meme coin degen or a gamer or whatever the case is. You mint your archetype for literally $1, and then you have access to the pre-sale, which starts tomorrow on June 10th. So those are a rundown of the opportunities I think are the best in the market right now. I think gaming, 𝗵𝗄𝗽, SocialFi, and then AI. AI is by far number one. I'd be stacking up top AI tokens. Those are really my main buys in this market right now are AI coins. But on top of that, Virtuals protocol. I think that this launch right here will really set the tone for what happens to Virtuals over the next couple of weeks to months. If this launch is crazy successful, I think a lot of projects are going to flock here from other chains. Foundations are going to want to get involved with Virtuals, etc. Because this is Ethereum, the biggest foundation outside of Bitcoin, obviously. So I think if this goes well, the Virtuals run continues. And if there's 3 tokens out of this video that I would continue to accumulate on a high level, it would be 𝗬, Seedify due to their new play with the Seedify Ultimate platform. And then the third one, I still like Virtuals over the short term. I think Virtuals going into this launch could see a pump, but overall AI coins, whatever AI coins you like, you go for. But for me, that's Render, that's 𝗬, that's Neural AI, that's GPU, Desync, and Limbo. Those 6 are really my core AI portfolio right now, and I'm very happy with that, as well as my exposure to the Virtuals ecosystem with Virtual and the Genesis launches. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, or if you've been participating in any of these, I know a lot of people making money in Virtuals, the Arena, on-chain heroes. What are you doing in this market to stay afloat while altcoins have kind of been middling? Which platform has been good to you? Which platform don't you like? I would love to hear it in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys on the next video. As always, like and subscribe. Play well, my friends. And of course, stay bullish, my friends.